Hey everybody, it's Catie Harris, owner and CEO of Nursepreneurs, and we are on a day 2 of our journey to start a 6-figure IV hydration business. And really the crux of this is, first having that big idea, which we talked about yesterday. And today it's about the money, right? Like everybody wants to know, how much can I make? And how much is it going to cost me? And those kind of things. And that's where your business plan becomes absolutely essential. Now, in our Bespoke program, which is, one of the things that we're talking about, I'm going through the Bespoke program now as we talk through this, and the business plan comes up pretty quickly. So you get onboarded into our Bespoke program, and then, you start working with coaches, you work with your account manager. But one of the first things that you're going to end up doing is working with a business planner, right? So you want to have a pretty good idea. You want to have that vision of what it is that you're going to be doing. And that's your big idea. So yesterday, I already had the big idea. If you don't have a big idea, you can either take mine or, take somebody else's, but have like a reason why. So once you have your reason why, everything else will be so much more simpler. Okay. So my reason why is to promote neuro wellness. So I know exactly what I want to do. I want to do an NAD drip. I'm actually going to add some glutathione at the end. And, I'm going to want to create this cocoon experience. Now, the next big question is, well, okay, great. But how much is this going to cost me? And how much can I actually make? So I've gone through a pretty simple business plan that I'll show you now. So let me share my screen with you. Just to kind of go over what it is that what this is going to cost us, right? So, my ideal would be to sell 3 packages a month, right? Like I don't want hundreds of clients. I don't even want thousands of clients. Actually, be happy with 1 client, but when I do the math, it doesn't quite work out to where I want it to be. Like 3 is my happy space. If I could get 3 new clients a month at $5,000 a person, then I can do really well. So, when you work out a business plan, you want to list out all the things that you need to do. So you need to think about the experience from the aspect of before the client comes in, right? When the client comes in, during the client's visit, and then after the client leaves. So that's how I broke up my expenses when I was thinking about this. So to start to prep during the IV, removing the IV, and sending the client on their way. So, and there's actually some pre stuff there too, because I'm obviously going to have to market, but to get 3 clients, I'm not going to have to market that hard. Okay. It's way, way easier to get 3 people to spend $5,000 each with me than it's going to be to get 100 people to spend, 150, right? Oh my gosh, I can't do math. So 150, let's say we got 100 people to spend $150. That's 15,000. Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's way easier to get 3 people to spend $5,000 and make 15,000 than it is to get 100 people to spend $150, which would make 15,000. Plus the profit on this is so much better. Okay. Because when I look at it, I only need a 500 cc bag, which is actually slightly more expensive than a liter bag, which is weird, but it is what it is. There's going to be 9 visits total. All right. So the package includes 9 NAD visits with glutathione. So I need an NAD vial and I need a glutathione vial. So this is basically what I need. And when we talk about supplies, I'm going to go into that in a second, but that 500 cc bag plus the NAD and the glutathione. Now the question becomes, all right, what do I need to start? In order to start, right, I have to have all of my stuff ready. Like I need to have my supplies, my equipment, my space where I'm going to be doing this, and all that stuff obviously costs money. I don't have to tell you that. And then you need a marketing plan, which we will talk about later in this series. But all that stuff costs money. But then when the person comes in, what do I need to start an IV? This is where your nursing kicks in, right? Like I need a tourniquet, and then I need an alcohol swab, and then I need a needle, and then I need, probably extension tubing, though I could probably do without it. Gloves, obviously, I need a sharps container, medical waste, that kind of stuff. Then the next thing is, I need to prep the drip. So I need to divide me from the patient. So I'm going to need some sort of divider. I'm going to need Clorox wipes to wipe down whatever place that I'm working. I'll need a little table to work on In my mind, I want to put down surgical pads and then prep the bag right then and there. And the client, my idea is to have a massage chair. So I have them in the massage chair. They have the weighted blanket on them. I can put the neuro theta waves on, the eye mask that compresses. I have this eye mask that's amazing, right? It does massage and heat to your eyes, and oh my gosh, you really do feel like you're in a cocoon. So I want to share this experience with people. Plus, they get the experience of NAD and the glutathione at the end. But all of that obviously costs money, and we're going to go over that in 1 second. But then afterwards, when I'm done, I want to remove the IV. I need to throw the stuff out, right? I need to put some gauze and Cobain over the site so it doesn't, they don't get a big bruise or hematoma or anything like that. So those are the things that I have to consider. So when I look at my expenses, and I listed them all out, first I listed them out by patient, right? So let's focus just on this area for right now, but per patient, if the IV bags are $450 each, if they have 9 visits, then this patient cost me $40. The NAD, it's a 50 mLs in per cc, and it's a 15 cc vial. I think I have that right. Well, what it works out is if the person's coming in for 9 visits, they're getting 250 milligrams of NAD, then I need 3 vials, and the vials cost $69 each. Glutathione, there are 30 mLs in a vial, and each ml is 200 mLs. So for 9 visits, I'll need 1 because I'll probably do 600 milligrams. IV tubing. So this is, I can go through this, but this is what you want to do. This is how you want to think about it. Your credit card processing fee on a $5,000. Credit cards take 3%. It's just the cost of doing business. It's going to cost me $150 just to run their credit card and get that money. So total per visit, every time they show up, it's going to be $127, right? That's what it's going to cost me for the 3 visits per month. So this is actually 2 visits per month. 3 visits per month multiplied by 3. So if they come in and see me 3 times, so if it's a 3-month program and they're supposed to do 9 visits, then obviously they need to come in 3 times. Now, inventory, I'm going to need tourniquets, alcohol swabs, clear tape, 22 gauge needles, all of this stuff for the actual visit. When I do the total inventory, this whole thing is going to cost me $291, but that's not per patient, because when you order gloves, there's 200 gloves in there. Or if I order alcohol swabs, there's 1,000 alcohol swabs, or, whatever, syringes, there might be 100 in here. So when I divvied it up over 9 visits, taking all of this into account, it turns out that each patient is going to cost me about $58 in inventory supplies. So obviously this stuff has to be replenished, but I don't have to replenish everything after one person, right? I can certainly get a lot more than 9 visits out of this inventory list. Now, labor costs, this is something that we all forget to factor in, and it's something you really need to consider. I gave a very generous, because I want to be very conservative with I want some margin of error for my business plan. So I said $75 an hour. Now, even if you're a solopreneur, even if you're the one doing the work, you have to factor this cost in, because otherwise you're going to have inflated numbers that can't scale. Okay. You can never hire somebody because you won't really know. You have to figure out what that is. So when you have extra money at the end of the month, that's great. But you also have room to hire somebody to help you to scale your business. And then we have the one-time fixed expenses. So, I'm going to get some ice packs that I can put in the freezer in case there is a hematoma. I need a divider for the room, a massage chair. You don't have to get a $5,000 massage chair. I mean, you could get more expensive massage chair for sure, or less expensive. But this is just part of my program, and I want to invest in a really nice massage chair so the experience is above and beyond. Side table that I can work on, my eye mask. Actually, my eye mask was way more expensive than this, but you can just do a basic eye mask to cover their eyes. I want to do aromatherapy to make the room smell nice. The weighted blanket is amazing. I actually just got it in the mail the other day, and it was so heavy. I was like, oh my God, what is this thing? It's like 40 pounds, but it really does contribute to that cocoon experience. Medical waste container. And obviously you're going to have to replace this, but it's not a completely just one-time fixed expense. But, if I'm only working with 1 or 2 clients or even 3 clients, it's going to take a long time. It might take me a year to fill up that medical waste container. A hanger, so I need somewhere to hang the bag, something to consider, a pair of scissors. And here, these are your expenses for, you have to think about this: rent. Somebody needs to clean the place. Is that going to be you? Is it going to be somebody going to bring somebody in? You can't just not clean your office. Internet, utilities, your EMR and marketing software, setting up Google Business and your email website, all of these different types of cost. So rent, I'm in a co-working space. And because I'm in a co-working space, the housekeeping is included, the utilities, the internet, these are included. So these are 0 expense for me. So this is one of the benefits of working out of a co-working space. So something to consider, or if you're in an office, let's say you rent out primary care space or something along those lines. Then our EMR and marketing system is something that I'm going to leverage because there's cold leads built in, there's visitor match for anonymous traffic, and a whole bunch of things that I'm going to use to get my 3 clients a month. And of course, Google Business and website, even though you don't want to spend this money, you do. So all the supplies and the one-time expenses comes out to, this is $7,220. But my one-time expenses are $5,194. So really my expenses are only around the $2,000 a month range. And most of that has to do with rent, ironically. So the next thing you want to do is create out a fair, good, best, or good, better, best type of profile. And when I calculate this out, I'm looking at how many clients, how many visits, how much revenue I would get, and I work my way down. So like if I only had 1 client, my one-time expenses make it really expensive. So now I'm in the negative of $2,670. I cannot cover if I only have 1 client a month. The first month isn't going to carry it. The second month I have to pay back, right? So I might make a profit of $2,180, but I have to pay back this $2,670 that I couldn't cover. So really in month 2, with only 1 new client a month, I'm still negative $490. But then in month 3, after my profit 1601, that's, for somebody giving me another $5,000. If I subtract the $490, then my real profit is $1,111. But then month 4, then I don't have to worry about it anymore. So now I'm at 1601. So that would be my profit for the month. All right, I would bring in 5,000. My expenses are, these are my fixed and variable expenses, my labor expense. So out of a $5,000 package, I could generate the profit of 1601. This would give me a yearly revenue of 60,000, a profit of about close to 20,000, right? That's, this is assuming that you've hired somebody to help you and that you're not doing anything. So, $19,212 is not a whole lot to live off of, but this is way better than your stock market of what it's doing. Like if you hire somebody to do this and you make $19,000 a year and you don't do a single thing, yeah, it's worth it. Okay. And of course you have to consider taxes. So this is going to go on your personal income statement. It's going to increase your personal taxes by close to 20,000. This might be a little high, but just to stay on the conservative side, then you would bring home 13,000. So if you set the business up, have somebody else run it, you're completely hands off. Maybe you just check in to see how they're doing once in a while. You get an extra $13,000 a year for doing nothing. Now, if you're going to do the labor, maybe this number is not exactly worth it, but it's still better than doing overtime shifts. I'd rather have 1 patient a month and, bring in an extra $1,000 than work. How many overtime shifts is that? 3, 4? This is way better. All right. So 1 2-hour visit versus 4 12-hour shifts. This is a nice income. Now, if we go to, the good, this is where I want to be. I want to be 3 clients. It's not it's not a lot. I mean, I would have to see people, 3, 6. Yeah. So if I was going to see them 3 times a month, I would have to do 9 visits. 9 visits, maybe have a 2-hour block. So we're talking about 18 hours a month of my time. Okay. But I would make 15,000 expenses. They're a little bit more because I have to factor in the per patient stuff. Labor cost, obviously more because there's more visits to cover. So the profit here would be 44.93. But then in month 2, we no longer have those one-time expenses because they were actually covered. So we even profited here. So there's there's nowhere where we're negative. But the profit does go up, right? Because you have the one-time expenses have been paid for. The labor does go up as well because there's more visits because the people that were in month 1 that paid still get visits in month 2, right? So that's something you have to consider. And we have 3 new people coming in month 2, and the same with month 3, right? In month 3, we're finishing up the first group. We're doing the second month for the second group and the first month for the third group. So this is the max number. If you only have 3 clients, this will be the max number. Oops, this number is 6. The 9 will be the max number of clients that you ever have in a given month, and 27 visits would be the max number of visits. So you have another 15,000 expenses, again, 24.39. Most of this is rent, to be honest. Labor, 4,000, profit, 8,500, and you get to keep that, which is wonderful. So now you're looking at a yearly revenue of 180, but you don't get to keep 180 because you have expenses. After expenses, your profit would be 102, 132. We've factored in labor, so you don't actually have to do a thing, right? This could just be money that you get for just because you set up the business and you have somebody else, seeing 27 patients a month. And it's a great gig for a nurse that wants to do something other than work in the hospital. Taxes, because it comes off your personal income. So now we're looking at a total annual income after taxes of $71,000, which is pretty good. And again, way better than the stock market. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Now, the best scenario, and this would be my absolute max, because again, I don't want like 100 clients and this starts to eat up. I mean, if you're not doing the work and you have other people doing it, it's just that sometimes scaling is not always the best, it just gets to be more people to manage. And then you have to worry about covering shifts and this, that, and the other thing. Everything gets harder the bigger this number gets. Okay. So something to consider. I mean, this revenue is very tempting, 25,000, your expenses, 8,477, labor 2250 to account for the 15 visits. So your profit is 14,000. You're profitable from month 1. Down here, to remove the one-time expenses, you're now down at 17,000. And month 3, this becomes the actual number that you would start making if you continue to bring in 5 new clients a month. Okay. Yearly revenue, 300,000. Oops, I meant to put let's do that. Yearly profit, 179,000, assuming a 30% tax rate, you would take off 53,000. So now you're looking at an annual income of 125,000. So that is really awesome. So in scenario 2 and 3, where we have 3 and 5 clients, you can see that you're profitable from, month 1. And you actually make a pretty good income if you hire a nurse to work as a contractor or whatever the case may be. This is the income that you would bring in for just owning the company. So not a bad gig, but this is how you want to set up your business plan. Again, in our Bespoke program, we do this for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, but it's something to take into consideration and really think through that customer journey. Well, I mean, we'll talk about this later, but that customer journey is, how do I get people in the door? What is their experience until they get to me? What is their experience once they get to me? And what is their experience like after they leave me? And how do I keep them coming back? All right. Hope this is helpful. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't. We'll drop another episode tomorrow talking about more things that you need to do to prevent the overwhelm of starting the IV hydration business. Our team is here and available for you if you're like, this is great, but I just want somebody to do it for me. We're here to do that as well. So you can talk to our team about our Bespoke program or any of the other programs that we have, and we look forward to